Today, we're going to talk all about relaxers, how they're damaging, why there are all of these different lawsuits, and how most of the problems with relaxers are user error. Let's talk about it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
She had me do it. It wasn't my fault.
Oh yes, it was.
I am glad.
To give her the side. Because
Where y'all at?
like
It doesn't always have to do with people not loving themselves or anything like that. So let's hop into it. Before we get started, make sure you go ahead and subscribe here to my channel and then click on that bell notification so you're notified every time I post another video. Now, this is this beauty's before and after. This is not a grown out relaxer, you guys. The straight pieces that you are seeing are damaged salt bonds. Remember, there are three bonds that hold the hair together: the salt bond, the hydrogen bond, and the disulfide bond. And the salt bond is the bond that's normally damaged by highly acidic products and things of that nature, right? So today in this video, I'm not using Olaplex, I am using Joico and their arginine complex. So it's a whole different pattern using their bond reconstructive products, and I really liked it. I actually loved Joico's bond repair, but I really just liked Olaplex's better. But let's say Olaplex wasn't a thing, Joico would be the next thing that I go to because I do use its color, so it makes sense for me. So I'm using it in this relaxer, right? Her scalp has already been based. So let's talk about relaxers and what a relaxer actually is. As I said, there are three bonds that hold the hair together. One of those bonds is the disulfide bond. It's the permanent bond. The reason that it's called disulfide bond is because that means it's two sulfur bonds, right? So the more sulfur to sulfur linkages you have within the hair, the curlier the hair is. So what I'm doing right now is separating some of those bonds, and then I'm going to reformat them. That is what a relaxer is. A relaxer is taking the amount of disulfide bonds you have within the hair shaft and taking a few out and then reorganizing the bonds that are left over, so that it's healthy, right, and strong. Because just because you have less disulfide bonds does not mean that your hair is less healthy. For example, the straighter your hair is, the less disulfide bonds you have. Just because somebody has straight hair doesn't mean that their hair is not healthy. It just means they have less disulfide bonds. And see, the issue comes from when you relax the hair too much, because you're never supposed to relax the hair 100% straight. Now, when her relaxer comes out, and this is why you guys will get two different hair textures, both getting relaxers and both getting pixie cuts, and that's my hair in the camera. Listen, when I say I don't like washing goes, I'm talking about when your hair is 10 inches long. When your hair, girl, my hair didn't even have enough length to poot in this case. So what do you do with it? You let it lay. If you want a video about that, let me know. I'll break it down, because people just take everything that I say like way overboard. Anyway, so at this point, we are putting the relaxer on her head. Again, I need you to know her hair is not virgin. Having salt bonds that are misplaced does not equal having a open or damaged cuticle. It's not the same thing. There was an electron microscope within the room that you guys can't see, but we looked at her hair shaft, and her hair shaft was strong enough to have the relaxer. But again, this arginine complex by Joico is freaking amazing. It really is. So I was able to relax her hair with no problem. We're hair going rather swiftly. This relaxer was not on her hair for a long time at all. By the way, we are not rubbing the relaxer into the scalp, we are smoothing it. It is a difference, you guys. And in videos coming up soon, if you guys want, because remember, these videos are years old, I'm just using them as a visual representation. But if you want to see this full video where I explain the full Joico arginine complex, then let me know in the comments and I will give you guys that full video breaking everything down. So I really want you to pay attention to her hair and look at the density through her roots. I did not relax her hair 100%. Even though it looks like it's bone straight, it is not. Her around her roots there's still texture. But as I'm smoothing things down, you know, of course with a relaxer you get more control. The hydrogen bond is a little easier to control because there are less disulfide bonds. But at this point we are giving her a pixie. Remember, her hair is not, I'm not cutting a grown out pixie. Her hair was damaged from protective styles. Like her main thing was like wigs and not flexi rod sets, Lord, crochet braids. Crochet braids were her deal. That was her thing. And over the years, because as you can see, this is mama, right? So over the years, that tension does end up thinning out areas in the crown, right? But thank God she didn't go overboard with like frontals and stuff, because remember, that's not mama's era. She wasn't doing frontals and stuff, so her edges are intact. The issue is her stress point throughout the middle, and most women her age, that's also their stress point through the middle, because most of the styles that you do or that their generation were doing over the years cause tension going downward, which caused the middle of the hair to get thinner and thinner, right? But again, it is only when you use relaxers improperly that they're damaging. Even all of the court cases that you guys see going on about relaxers, when you guys look into the court dockets, none of these court cases are for professional cosmetologists. They are all for at-home box relaxers, like your olive oil relaxer, your emotions and stuff like that. That's who the lawsuit is against, not professional cosmetologists, unless it was just some dusty ones. And when you look at the court dockets, you guys, the main thing about it is people were at home doing relaxers themselves and not following directions, because most people think that you are not done relaxing the hair until it is bone straight. And in the next video clip, I'm going to show you a little bit more about what I'm talking about. But again, her density is different, right? Her density is different. Her porosity is different. So the patterns that I follow to do her hair and the patterns that I follow to do the next client's hair are a little different. All of the chemical complexes are the same. No, that's not true. The next one, I went back to Olaplex. I was using Olaplex. In this video, I was already retired from the industry, and she was coming in as a model because I was doing something for Joico. But she was a client of mine after this. Even though I was retired, I really wanted to make sure that her scalp was able to repair, so I did her hair a few times after this. So again, if you want to see those videos, let me know in the comments, and we'll do something about it. But yeah, so now at this point, I'm going through and I'm able to cut her hair more. And I want you guys to pay attention to, as we're moving along, as I'm drying her hair, right? As I'm drying her hair, as I'm cutting her hair, and it was drying a little bit, it was becoming to get a little swollen, right? Meaning not necessarily like a full curl pattern, but not bone straight. And I want you to go ahead and rewind that just so you can see it. So now this is where we set the hydrogen bond. When I say I can't stand twist outs and wash and goes and stuff like that, I'm saying it because all of the wrong products are used, all of the wrong processes are followed, and when you get done, you cannot comb your hair. If you do a twist out and you can still pick up a comb or a brush and comb your hair, do it. But if you can't, No, it's not a thing. And this is why, because right now we are setting the hydrogen bond. We already dealt with the disulfide bond when we relaxed her hair, right? And when I relaxed her hair, we put the neutralizer on, used all of the finishing steps for the Joico bond repair. And then I went ahead and conditioned her hair and then finished her cut, right, to match the curvature of her hair. Now I'm setting the hydrogen bond. And her hydrogen bond is going to be set until the next time she shampoos her hair, right? And what was funny, she knew that I was only doing it because she was a model, something for Joico, but mama's got the tendency to talk you into doing stuff because I was not taking extra clients, okay? But I ended up doing her hair like 3 more times after this. She talked me into it, and then I had to be like, okay, mama, for real, I quit. I can't keep doing this. I don't work here. Okay. But now at this point, her hair is dry, and now I'm going to do the final cut because again, your hair is going to swell when it is dry. Whether you have a relaxer or not, naturally curly hair is going to swell when it is dry. When it is dry, when it is wet. And so once it dries, it's going to look a little different. So you're going to have to do a different haircut. You're going to have to, not a different haircut, but you're going to have to go back and shape everything up, right? I'm going to try to talk y'all through this, but I don't know if there are any other cosmetologists or hairstylists or braiders watching this. Leave it in the comments if you can relate. I know that I have such a big respect for instructors and teachers and things of that nature, but for me, hair was a visual art. So it's hard for me to put in the words like hold the clippers like this and then hold the top of the head. I don't know, because like the science of hair, like the bonds and stuff like that, I can explain that forever, but like explaining the way that I hold the combs and brushes, I don't know, it's different for me. That's hard for me because hair was always such a visual art for me. Like in my entire career, I never had to tell nobody I'm the best that ever did it. I'm the best that ever did it, because it was a visual art. They'll be like, oh, you do hair? And I'll be like, yeah. And then I'll just send them my website or my Instagram, and then they'll go look at pictures and be like, oh, you are good. I'm like, I know, book something. Like I never had to brag because hair is a visual art, right? So I think that's why this is sidebar, but I think that's why it was so hard for me at first when I started making content about the science of hair on my channel and I started getting pushback. I would be so like, ugh, because I didn't really know how to deal with it. I'm gonna be honest, like I never had to explain my craft. It's just always been a visual art. And anyway, let me know if you understand. So now at this point, I'm just setting this last part again. I know it seems like I'm doing it a lot, but because we ended up adding a couple of extra pieces and she didn't tell me that she wanted to add a couple extra pieces into the end, we had to go and reset it because then it would have looked weird. So now at this point, I'm just putting there has already been a little bit of serum on her hair, and the serum that I use when I'm doing pixies is actually also a heat protectant, because I don't want to spray a thermal heat protectant on my client's hair right after they get a relaxer, because the pores are still a little open, a little bit. You know, we close them really good, but still, you just don't want to chance it, and it's not really necessary, right? So just went ahead, curled her hair. This was the first time she ever had a pixie. She didn't really know what she wanted to do. When she first came in, she booked a silk press. That's what she booked. And then when she came in and sat down, I was like, oh, I don't know if we could silk press this. And then we ended up being here at this place. But it was really, really exciting to see the way that she felt about her hair. It was really, really exciting to hear her tell me like how much easier it was for her to do her hair. When you do a relaxer for a pixie, they're not relaxing their hair because they don't think that they're beautiful, but go ahead and try to do this hairstyle the way that it was when she first came in, and you let me know how that work out for your player. So at this point, again, we're just going through curling her hair, and it was really, really dope because she was so nervous at first, but I could see her like come alive the longer I did her hair. And mind you, the mirror, it was right in front of her, and I ain't gonna lie, I had to keep turning her away from the mirror because I'm like, I can't, you can't look over there. I can't see and you see at the same time, mama. So you gotta look over here. She said, okay, baby, listen. So now this is just a little shine spray from Kimber. Listen, I've been using Kimber for years, and she ended up calling either her daughter or her friend. I don't know, but let's listen to what she had to say and how she felt about her hair.
Beautiful if you got long hair, so if you could be beautiful with short hair, it just, I don't know. I think that's why I
I've tried everything to make myself feel good about with the long hair, the bob, the everything. But this is more me. That's it.
I'm gonna be so fine.
Yeah, and all I got to do is tie it.
Yep. Yeah.
I ain't got
That's
nothing
it.
else to worry
And then
about.
in the morning,
That's,
right now.
I'm done with hair.
Yep.
I'm done with the braids.
Ooh,
I'm done
so
with.
beautiful.
I'm just like, this is what I need.
And that's
Something
what I
simple.
don't.
Hey, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
She had me do it. It wasn't my fault.
Oh, yes, it was.
I didn't.
I am glad.
To give her the side because
Can you go out? We got to go out on a date.
So,
Where y'all at?
see, that's what I'm
like
saying.
this way, and I'm not just trying to make you feel better.
Listen, she was ready. Okay, she was ready. She said, where y'all at? We about to go. So next up, look at this beauty's texture. Okay, now at this point, she's getting a pixie cut. She was a client of mine, so I was familiar with her hair. And her hair, it is like in its natural state, she could not just do a relaxer just because she want to do a relaxer because it's Wednesday. No, because it's not gonna lay right. Absolutely not. No. No, it's not. No, it won't. No, it ain't. So at this point, I'm just cutting off the majority of the hair that I know we're not using, so I'm not wasting product. But one thing that is like sweeping the internet that drives me absolutely insane is people like, oh, Texlax or texture release, and all of these things are better than relaxers. Y'all get played. Literally every year, it's a new scam or a new thing that y'all fall for every year. All a Texlax or a texture release is a mild relaxer. The relaxer that I'm using on her hair right now is the same exact relaxer that I used on the client that you just saw previous. But this video is about, what room is this? This is at Phoenix. So this room, this video is about 7 years older. This video is 7 years older than the one that you just saw. The one that you just saw was about 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago. No, about 5 years ago. Yeah, about 5 years ago, I think. Anyway, it was a while. So now that the relaxer has been rinsed out of her hair, look at how her hair looks. Her hair is not bone straight. First of all, when you're in cosmetology school, unless you went to a dusty one, the first thing you learn is to never ever relax the hair 100%. You're only supposed to relax hair about, you're only supposed to get it about 70% straight. That's it. Only about 70% straight, unless your client requests otherwise, right? And depending on the density of the hair, even if you do only relax to 70%, the density will make it look straighter. So, for example, her hair and the beauty that you just saw before, they have two completely different densities, right? So, because they have two completely different densities and the width of their hair shaft is different, even though they both got relaxed to about the same percent, it's gonna look different, right? But that's why it's so important that you understand relaxers, you understand the bonds of the hair. When you go to cosmetology school to learn about relaxers, baby, you do not just read the back of a bottle. And I'm not being disrespectful, but when you do a relaxer at home, when you're doing it yourself, the only education that you have on the bonds of your hair that you're reformatting is what you read in the directions on the back of the bottle. And that's where it becomes an issue. That's where it becomes a problem, because a Texlax is just a mild relaxer, y'all. Because as you can see, I put the relaxer in her hair, smoothed everything out, but we already talked about it. She still did want to have the option to like wear her curls sometimes. I've always been, you know, feeling the way that I feel, but remember, I didn't have a problem with it as your hair is growing out, just like my hair was in the previous clip, right? Because that was the beginning stages of me growing my hair out, but I was still setting the bond, right? And it's, again, if you want a video about that, the different levels of your hair that I feel like wash and goes are okay for, or I don't consider it a wash and go, it's a wash and set, but let me know. All right, so as you can see, I'm following the same exact procedure with her, right? Going through, cleaning up her cut, but as you can see, she has a lot more density, and her hair is still relaxed, y'all. I wish that I couldn't find a clip of how her hair looked before, like on a day that I straightened it, like how her curls look. But if you could see them, you would be like, oh, okay, I get it. But remember, everybody's texture is different. Everybody's texture is different. So everybody won't be able to get the same result, right? Some people I may relax like 70%. Some people I can get away with relaxing 80%, right? I'm sorry, not 80%. Most people I could get away with only relaxing 40%. I didn't mean to go that far on the number scale. I could get away with relaxing like anywhere between 40 to 50%. But you never go past 70. Never. Because that's where the damage comes in. That's where the cuticles damage. That's when the hair is weakened. That's when the elasticity is up for grabs, right? So that's why it's really important for you to understand. And that's why when it comes to short hair, you're always going to see foam. Like, it is our number one weapon in the hair salon when you're setting lines. That goes for roller sets, flexi rod sets, perm rod sets, and for pixies. Because when you're doing a pixie, I'm setting her hair's bond the same way that you setting it with rollers or with flexi rods. So when I say I can't stand wash and goes and twist outs, it's because it's a lazy way to do your hair, set the bond. You can get the same beautiful look with big, beautiful, luscious curls if you just do a flexi rod set or a roller set. And guess what? Most people are up in arms about me saying, like, don't do two different things, flexi rod sets or wash and goes, where when you have flexi rods, right? Flexi rods have like 8 different sizes. Okay, and perm rods have like 8 different sizes. So you got 16 different hairstyles right there. That's $1 million song right there. So it's like there's no need to like go back and forth and just like constantly be so gung-ho to just one set pattern and routine because it hasn't been working. So try something else. But I also want you to know that just because you get a relaxer doesn't mean that you don't love yourself. Just because somebody gets a relaxer doesn't mean they're damaging their hair. And a Texlax and texture release and all of that, they're just new made up things because, well, not made up things, but they're just renaming things the same way that it used to be Jerry Curl, but now she repurposed it and called it a Gina Curl, but it's the same thing. it's the same exact concept. So you guys just have to understand the science of hair. So no matter how somebody packages something, you'll know what it is. That's why I teach the science of hair, because the packaging is never going to stop. It's never going to stop. It's always going to be like that. So that's why it's important for you to know the science so you're not easily manipulated. So now I'm doing the same thing that I did on the last beauty. She's showing me a picture of exactly how she wants her hair. So everything that I am doing, she is telling me to do. Thank you very much. Okay, down to like the way that I'm cutting it, the way that I'm curling it. When you see me messing with it at the end, it's so I can make sure that it looks exactly like the picture. And when I can make it look exactly like the picture, I do, because most of the time it's kind of hard to make people's hair look exactly like the picture, because a lot of times you'll have people bring in pictures or examples of people who look nothing like them, people who don't resemble them at all, people whose density looks nothing like theirs. So she made it really, really easy for me. Using scissor over comb is one of my favorite ways to blend, because I'm not a barber or because I'm not a cosmetologist that's like real good with the clippers. Like the master stylist, she cold with the clippers, cold with them. No, the best I could do is with the T-liners. I wasn't one of those that can make lines and lightning bolts and stuff in your hair. Girl, you would mess around, be looking crazy as hell messing around with me, girl. That wasn't my thing. Never tried it. Didn't want to play with it. Okay, don't downplay with people here. But again, now I'm going through and making sure I connect all of the lines, because short pixie cuts are not a game. It's all in the cut. So if there's like one hair out of place that doesn't flow, the cut gotta go, So I'm just making sure that everything evens out, evening everything out from her top fringe area all the way back to the nape, and making sure that everything's even all the way out. But again, it would be really difficult for me to do this if her hair was not somewhat relaxed in a way, right? Think of the word relax. You're getting a relaxer. That's the name of it, not a perm. A perm is what a woman with naturally straight hair gets to go curly. A relaxer is exactly what it sounds like. If your curls are tighter and you don't want them as tight, you get a relaxer. And depending on what you tell your cosmetologist, that's going to determine what form or what level of relaxer you can get. So a Texlax and a texture release and all of this stuff, y'all can do what y'all want to do what you feel, but it's not new, and we've always done that in the salon. It's only when you're doing relaxers at home and you don't understand the complexity of it that you're messing it up. But it's so easy. Like cosmetologists that have been doing hair for decades they're not going out and buying a Texlax system and a relaxer system at the same time. It's just not happening. Because it's the same thing. We're not going to go and buy the same product twice. It's craziness. Because you just saw it with your own eyes. You literally get the same exact result. And this is how it was on short hair. But I actually did this on clients that had longer hair as well. I didn't really have as many clients requested because I wasn't known for that. Contrary to popular opinion, it's funny, I heard somebody say that, but I was not known for relaxers. I was known for taking extremely thick and curly hair and making it bone straight, and then seeing them come back and their curls bounce back even tighter than they were before I straightened their hair. That's what I was known for, right? So my clients didn't really come to me I didn't have women that came to me for relaxers. So that's why I don't have that many of them. After this one, I think I have like 2 more relaxer videos for y'all. But through my entire career, y'all, I did hair for over 15 years, and I have 4 relaxer videos to share with y'all. 4. So if I find more, like I said, I'll bring them to y'all. But just ask yourself that question. If I specialize in relaxers, wouldn't I have more than 4 videos of relaxers. But anyway, so now again, this was one of my favorite things to do though. My favorite haircuts were pixie cuts and bobs. I loved bobs. Oh my god. In our next video, we're going to do a growth check, right? I'm going to show you one of my clients that was my client for years, and her hair would grow so long, and I would be so excited, and then she'll be like, oh, that was fun, let's cut it off. And we would do that over and over and over and over again. And so if you guys want to see that video up next, make sure you put some scissors in the comments, like comment some scissor emojis in the comments. You could do it in the live chat, in the replay and stuff like that, but I need you to go to the comments and just comment some shears if you want to see her cut process, because that was the thing. All right, that's what I was known for. I was known for getting extremely curly hair, bone straight, and then back to curly. And I was also known for growing hair, and I had some mean shear skills. So yeah, let me know if you want to see those videos coming up. But this is how her hair ended up turning out, with what you guys would call a Tex-Lax, but it wasn't a Tex-Lax. It was just a mild relaxer, right? We just pulled it before, like we didn't let it sit as long. I didn't let as many disulfide bonds be pulled and reconstructed. We controlled it. And again, when you understand the science of the human body, it's really easy for you to control it without getting a Tex-Lax or a texture release treatment. These are all really new phases that they've made up, and don't get me wrong, I love it. Like, I love the creativity, right? Because there are always things that can be reinvented. It's a beautiful thing, but upon you reinventing things, please respect the bones of the foundation that was laid before, right? That gave you the ability or the authority or the audacity or the tenacity to even speak against it or to start something different, right? Acknowledge the foundation that was laid, because how can you not respect the foundation that was laid for you, but then expect to build a new one that will stand the test of time? No, because energy is never created or destroyed. It's just transferred from one source to the next. So I really hope that makes sense, and I hope that this video answered you guys' questions about relaxers. I have a whole series on relaxers and the lawsuits and Olaplex and their lawsuits, so make sure you check the videos on the screen and the video in the description box, right? Have the whole playlist there. But this is how her hair came out. Absolutely beautiful, with a very mild relaxer. And remember, mild, medium, and super, that's going towards your porosity, not how much of the relaxer comes out, right? And not how much of the curls or the disulfide bonds are broken out. Mild, medium, and super lends to your porosity. So if you have high porosity hair, you're going to get a mild relaxer. If you have low porosity hair or cuticle that's really tight, you'll be good with the medium to super relaxer, right? We'll talk a little bit more about that if you guys want in the comments below. Remember, if y'all want me to address certain topics, make sure you say it in the comments, because I'm not just about to be going finding all of these videos for no reason if y'all don't want to see them. But this is how her hair turned out. Beautiful. I used to love my pixies, and again, let me know if you want to see more of it. And also in the comments, let me know, how long have you been subscribed to my channel, and are you gonna stay? And if you're not subscribed yet, will you? Thank you. Bye.